good, BFM? This is Big Tone coming at you from Big Tone Productions. Beats and Feast, you know what time it is. It's time for another cooking video, and today we're going to do probably the most made recipe, southern recipe on YouTube. We're going to do smothered pork chops. The Big Tone way, the easy way, and it's going to be so good. But hey guys, all you got to do is sit back, relax, enjoy the video. If you like it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, make sure you share the video. Let's get started with some smothered pork chops. Supporting cast, pretty simple. Got my pork chops here. I use center cut, bone in, always. Nothing better, center cut, bone in, always. Plain and simple. I got a couple onions cut up here, and spices, garlic powder, onion powder, some Lye seasoning salt, some Slap Your Mama, and I got some salt and pepper, and some beef broth for the gravy, a little bit of vegetable oil, and some butter. And of course we got to have our flour. That's going to be the coating, and it's also going to help thicken the gravy. And the most important part of the ingredients is a Ziploc bag. It makes it easy, no mess, but it's very important. So we'll get to that in a second. Let's get started putting this together. First thing we're going to do is season up our pork chops. Alright, so start with my pink Himalayan sea salt. We're just going to sprinkle those real good. Some black pepper. We're going to go in with a little bit of Lye seasoning salt. And we're going to go in with a little bit of onion powder. Some garlic powder. And some Slap Your Mama. This is my preference. You don't have to add it, but that's my preference. Some Slap Your Mama always goes good on some pork chops. So we're just going to flip these over, and we're going to do exactly the same thing to the other side. Gotta have my black pepper. You know how I like that black pepper. There we go. Pork chops seasoned up. Alright, we're going to set this aside. Now we're going to do our flour bag. Flour bag is just that. 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We're going to season this flour up now. Nice healthy pinch of salt. Nice healthy pinch of pepper. Get this so you can see it. Same ingredients as we put on the pork chops. Some Lye seasoning salt. Some onion powder. A little garlic powder. And some Slap Your Mama. That's going to go on the flour. And we're just going to simply close up the bag and mix that together. That's our seasoning for the flour. Alright, so the next step is basically breading the pork chops. This is why the bag makes it so easy. We're just going to put the pork chops in the bag and shake, shake, shake. Now, I want to tell everybody before we start, set your oven to 350 degrees. Preheat your oven to 350. We're just taking the pork chops, putting them in the bag, just like that. The extra seasoning is going to go in there with it. I'm going to close up the bag, like so. And we're just going to do a little shake, shake. until the pork chops are totally coated. There you go. Pork chops are coated. From here, we're going to move right over to the stovetop. All right, so we're over here. I got my cast iron skillet going. I got a little bit of oil in it. It's already hot, so we're just going to throw in our pork chops, and we're just going to sear these off. We're not going to cook them all the way through. We're just searing them off to get some color on them. All right, there we go. Now, we're not going to throw this flour away. We're going to keep this flour. That's going to help thicken our gravy. So we're going to brown these on both sides. We're going to take them out, and then we're going to start our gravy. So, as you can see, I've already browned them on one side. I flipped them over. So we're going to let them continue to cook on this side here. We're going to brown these off on this side and take them off, and we're going to start our gravy. Browned on both sides, so we're just going to take them out and put them over here on a plate, let them rest. Alright, so what we're left here in the skillet is our nice little bits and pieces there. I turn the heat down on it. So to that, we're going to I'm adding a full stick of butter. Some people add a half a stick. I'm adding a full stick. Right to the pan. We're going to melt that down. See, my butter's melting down. So I'm going to take a little bit of this flour and we're going to pour right into the butter. Essentially, we're making a roux. We're going to whisk this up. Just like this. And you see all that flour incorporated in there. And we're going to let that cook just for a few minutes. Get most of that flour taste out of it. Alright, so as that's cooking up here, I'll come over here and grab my beef stock, or beef broth. We're going to add a little bit at a time as we whisk. And you'll start to see it thicken up. Continue stirring and whisking it. You can see it thickening up as we go. Let that cook for a second before I add anything else to it or any more liquid. So as we're making this roux with the butter and the beef stock, that's what these famous cooks call deglazing the pan, essentially, when you're adding the liquid to it. I call it making a roux. All those little bits and pieces on the bottom come up, making your gravy what it is supposed to be. I'm going to add just a little bit more beef stock. And I'm going to let that get a little thicker, let it cook for a second. I'll be back in a minute. Right, so there's the gravy. I'm going to go in and taste this just a little bit. See where my seasoning's at. Ah, yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to add my onion to this. We're going to whisk that around in there real good. And right away to that, go ahead and add our pork chops back in the middle, in the gravy. Remember, those pork chops aren't totally done. We just browned them. Submerge those in the sauce. Try to cover them up the best you can. Now, with mine, I've done this for a long time, so I seasoned it. I got my seasoning just about where I want to with just the flour. Now, if you need to add salt and pepper, whatever you need to do it, then you do that as you're working your gravy. One thing that I forgot to tell you guys that I put in mine is a little parsley. Some parsley flakes. Put a little bit of that in. Won't come out of the container. There we go. Little parsley. And we're gonna mix that around in there. It'll get incorporated. Now, right in the same skillet, I'm just gonna put that in the 350-degree oven for about 25 to 45 minutes, just depending on how tender I want the pork chops to get. The longer, they melt in your mouth. So, I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'll be back in a minute. Well, it'll be about 45 minutes. There you go. Smothered pork chop over some rice. Don't get a whole lot better than that. It really, really don't. But you guys know exactly what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that bite. Ooh, good old smothered pork chop over some rice. You know what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that bite. When I tell you there's no knife needed, you can cut it with a fork. Let me get a little bite here. Lord.
Oh my God! Wow!
Lord, Lord, Lord. Hey guys, let me finish chewing. The meat is so tender. By putting it in that oven, it makes the meat just fall apart in your mouth. But hey guys, you need to try this at home. If you liked the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, make sure you share the video, and hey, this is Big Tone signing off. Peace.